What does St. Paul mean in our second reading when he wrote, "Eye has not seen, and ear has not heard, what God has prepared for those who love him"? He is speaking about eternity, that heaven is somehow different from all that we have experienced so far. To understand eternity, we first have to look at the limits of being bound by time. The ancient Greeks had two concepts of time, chronos and kairos. Chronos is when we are aware of the passage of time, such as waiting for an appointment or watching the clock at school or work. Kairos, on the other hand, is being lost in the moment, not burdened by the clock. When we enjoy a beautiful moment in nature, reading a good book or watching a movie, or spending time with a friend or loved one, we are in kairos and don't want the experience to end. Time is the one thing holding us back from perfect and perpetual happiness. For example, I cannot at the same time enjoy two experiences, such as skiing in the mountains, while also relaxing on a beach. Time also prevents us from having the wisdom and knowledge of our adult years, while simultaneously possessing the endless energy, good health, and carefree attitude of childhood. Because time separates great moments and persons in history, we could not meet both Moses at Mount Sinai and John the Baptist in the River Jordan. Time makes it impossible to combine pleasures. For example, every vacation has a beginning and end, or a pleasure may be out of season, like trying to find snow in the summer. Time gives us opportunities, and then takes them away. If we could only exist outside of time, then we could increase our happiness, and every pleasurable experience would be in the present. St. Paul is asking us to imagine heaven as a place where there is no before or after, only now. To visualize this, take your cherished memories of past enjoyments, beauties, and happiness, and arrange them into three focal points: life, truth, and love. First, gathering our favorite experiences of life into one might consist of the serenity of a waterfall, watching the sun rise or set with all of its colors, flowers in the peak of bloom with a radiant perfume, awakening to the sound of birds singing in the trees, the joy of children at play, and mothers quietly cradling their infants. Second, gathering all the truths of the world into one might consist of the thoughts of philosophers like Aristotle, what astronomers like Johannes Kepler viewed through their telescope, what physicists like Albert Einstein theorized about the universe, and what theologians like St. Thomas Aquinas discovered about God. Lastly, if we could gather all the great loves into one, it may contain the love of a soldier for his country, the love of a scientist for discovery, the love of teachers to impart wisdom, the love of flowers and trees to orient themselves towards the sun, the love of a parent for a child, the love of a husband and wife on their wedding day, and the love of angels to gaze upon the face of God. Now suppose these three focal points of life, truth, and love were like rays of light that we could follow back to their origin, to a single golden sun. The experiences of life, truth, and love are not abstract ideas or a pious dream. Rather, they are personified in three persons and exist in their fullness in one God. All life originates in God the Father. All truth has taken on flesh in His Son, Jesus Christ. And all love has been poured out on the disciples at Pentecost and upon us in our baptism via the Holy Spirit. All happiness, freed from the bounds of time and space, exists in our God, who awaits us at the end of this life. Heaven is the perfection of all life, truth, and love. Thus we will finally be happy, not now and again, but forever. Will eternity be exactly like what we have seen or experienced? No, answered St. Paul. Eye has not seen, and ear has not heard, and has not entered the human heart what God has prepared for those who love him. For St. Elizabeth Ann Seton said, when you awake in that world, you will find that nothing could tempt you to return to this.